Concept mapping your search is a quick and easy way to take a complex topic and break it down into searchable components. So the first thing you'll want to do is to download our concept map search template from the library website. If you're on the library homepage, you can scroll down to our online help guides. Select the Super User Finding and Critiquing Articles Guide and download the template from here. So to start your search, what you'll want to do is identify 2 to 3 themes that come out of the topic that you're searching. So in this case, we really have 2 main themes that are popping out. The first is depression. So we're looking for studies that are related to clients that have depression. The second theme is we're looking for this text messaging support program. So again, that's the intervention that we're looking at to see if it's effective. So that's going to be our second theme. Now our third theme could be optional. We could just start a search with depression and text messaging, or we could add in a third theme here, and it could be a certain population. So do you want to look at this in a certain age group? Maybe you want to compare it to a second intervention. So our scenario talked about teletherapy, so that's your traditional intervention, and maybe you want to compare it. Or maybe you also want to look at methodology of the article. Maybe you're looking for a meta-analysis first, or you want to look for interview studies or survey studies because that's what you want to use. So there could be any number of ways to formulate that third theme. So the template, again, it gives you the option to have up to 3 themes. So in this case, our first theme is depression. So there might be different ways that people describe the term that we're using. And so that's where these keywords come in here, and they really are synonyms. What are synonyms for depression? There's also text messaging, which again, there could be any number of ways to say text messaging. So it could be SMS, it could be texting, it could, again, text messaging, and on and on. There could be many different synonyms for this. And again, depending if you want a third theme here, you would want to brainstorm different synonyms for those topics. So this goes back to one of our other Super Searcher concepts, which is combining these with and or, those connector terms. So again, and is connecting those big themes together. So we want theme 1, anything related to depression, and any articles that also talk about any form of text messaging, which could be text message, text messaging, texting, everything that we just talked about. So all those would be OR'd together because it could be any of them. And then for the sake of this, I just threw in intervention as another theme. So that's how we would do this. So now you've just built your search in using a concept map. Now let's take that concept map that we just created and plug it into Find It at MSP's advanced search. So I've already copied the terms here into the advanced search fields. So just as a reminder, each row represents a concept. So our first row is the concept of depression. The second row is the concept of text messaging, and the third row is comparing it to teletherapy or telehealth. Before we click search, let's just review 2 more quick search tips. So for the first row of depression, if you'll remember, there's a quick little trick that allows us to search many variations on a common root term. So do you remember what that is? So if we go back and we look at the common root, which is depress, if we just search depress with an asterisk, that automatically searches many different variations on that common term. So that means depression, depressed, depressing, major depressive disorder, all of those are represented when you conduct a search using that little asterisk as your common root. Now let's look at the second row. So we have text message or text messaging. Can you think of a way using that same trick to simplify that? If you're thinking this, then you are correct. And there are a lot more synonyms representing text messaging that we didn't include in here, such as instant messaging or IM or other things, but for the simplicity of this search, we're just going to search for this. So you can see in about 4 minutes, we have taken a general scenario, we've converted it into a concept map, translated that into a search, and now we have somewhere to start in our Find It at MSP search database. Just one last note is we have about 1,400 results here. That's a lot. So you can use the filters on the left-hand side to filter down your search to different areas. So for example, you could search by the type of material if you just want journal articles. That is there. If you want to limit to the last 5 years as an example, that's also here, as well as language, limiting to the languages that you can read.